Hello, writers. Come write with me. My name is Mykela Greenwood. I create worlds for mind adventures. Welcome to my channel, Write with Mykela. I'm very glad to have you here on my channel. So don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can go on this journey with me. Today we're going to discuss a few terms or ideas, and then we will add to your cave stories. Our first term is mantra. A mantra is a word or sound repeated to aid concentration in meditation, or a statement or slogan repeated frequently. Another definition is a sacred message, text, or charm, a spell or counsel. A person repeats a personal phrase or statement to provide focus, meditation, or calm. People use mantras to bring calm, clarity, or insight into one's life. As writers, our characters can use them for any of these purposes. Right now, I'm going to concentrate on bringing calm. During a battle or chaos, a character might repeat a mantra or a prayer to help calm himself or herself, or even to build up courage to go into battle. In life, you hear people say, "The Lord is my shepherd." That can calm that person or build courage. Others use which is supposed to resonate with your third eye or your intuition. Resonating with your third eye would help you see beyond your current crisis, help you calm and handle things. We, as writers, know our characters. We know their needs. Well, we created them, so of course we know them. Now, we are not stuck with mantras that we hear or we read. We can use anything that will calm our character. We can create mantras in our story. In The Mummy, the movie The Mummy, Benny Gabor wore many amulets or talismans. You know, he had necklaces full of them. He had a whole bunch of them, and he kept pulling them up from his shirt. So he had many amulets or talismans from various religions. And he knew the mantra or prayers to go with each one. He knew the language of it. So he would pull one up and he would say it in that language, and they pull one up and say it in a different language. His fear is great at this moment when he is face to face with Imhotep. Now, this character, Benny, is very superstitious. And thus is always wearing the talisman. But the talisman alone wouldn't have saved him. He needed the mantras in the different languages. Okay. Imhotep recognized the Hebrew language when he pulled up the Star of David. So Imhotep decided Benny could be useful and spared his life. Now, let's think of the little engine that could. He had a mantra, and it was simply, "I think I can." He repeated it. "I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can." The little engine repeated that phrase and made it on the tracks over the mountain. Big, tall mountain they thought only the big engines could do, but this was important materials. I don't remember the story, if it was medicine or supplies or what it was, but the big engines weren't available and somebody needed to deliver. So the little engine was able to do that. And when I was a little kid, "I think I can, I think I can, I think I can." I had that as a mantra to do many things, or to try to do many things as a young child. So, what do your characters repeat aloud or to themselves in your stories? Is this a mantra for them? Does this calm them or give them courage? I mean, people repeat all kinds of things. It doesn't mean it's a mantra, but it could be. And so I want us to think about these kind of things as we build our characters. Leave a comment on a mantra or phrase that you use often in life or repeat when you need to calm down. Leave a comment on a mantra that one of your characters uses. Or if your character hasn't used a mantra, then leave one from TV, show, book, movie kind of thing. Just make sure you leave comments. Or maybe you could say, oh, I'm going to try a mantra, or I've heard of mantras. Whatever comment you want to leave is perfectly acceptable. Our next term is mnemonic. Mnemonic is a literary device, such as a pattern of letters, ideas, or associations that assist in remembering something. A simple definition is any device for aiding the memory. So when they say like a pattern of letters, there's things like the first letter of each word, and they make a sentence, and we'll give a couple examples of those. But the first one, or a couple of common ones, are actually rhymes. And here's one that I'm sure if you speak English and you read English, American English, you know this one. I before E except after C. And there's actually more to that rhyme. But you see I before E except after C, there's the rhyme. And in words like neighbor and way. So you have the neighbor and way kind of thing. Or another one that you've heard, I'm sure, is 30 days has September, April, June, and November. So September, November. So they rhyme. Like I said, the first one is, of course, for English words. So if you speak a different language, like if you speak German, you don't have that I before E. In German is different. They do have I before E sometimes, but then you would pronounce, I think you pronounce the I, and then if it's EI, you pronounce the E. So theirs is different. So if you speak German, you write in German, you wouldn't have that rule. And probably not. In Spanish, you wouldn't have that rule either, because you would be pronouncing each and every letter. If you had IE, it would be IE kind of thing. So that is for English words. In math, we use please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And that's the one with the first letters. So the please is for parentheses. Excuse is exponents. My dear is multiply and divide. And Aunt Sally is add and subtract. So we use that to help remember the order of operations. You take care of all parentheses. I think they've changed it now to groups. But parentheses and brackets, you do those first. You do exponents within the group. But the parentheses has an exponent. You would have to do the exponent kind of thing. So that helps us to remember what order we do operations. And that way we can get the same answer. I can get the same numerical answer or math answer that you get because we are doing the order of operations the same. There are many ways to create mnemonics. So you can use the rhyme, you can use the letters, you can use whatever it is that helps you to create mnemonics. I'm a square dancer. And in square dancing, there is a call reverse single rotate. And my mnemonic is reverse means right. So I remember to put my right shoulder in my box. So, because there's just a single rotate and a reverse single rotate. So the single rotate, I have to put my left shoulder in, which there's not really, I don't have a mnemonic for that. But the reverse is like right shoulder in. So that's my mnemonic. So that's the alliteration. Reverse means right. R and R. And we discussed alliteration in Season 1, Episode 11. If you want to go back I love alliteration. So if you want to go back and check that out, that would be great. How does mnemonics help us with our writing? Well, if your character needs to remember something important, then how does he or she do that? Does he or she use a mnemonic device? In our stories, we will use things from our lives, and this is one of them. Maybe you have a character that has a bad memory, so someone on his team gives him or her a mnemonic device to help, right? If you want some comedy, then that character can confuse the mnemonic and still not remember correctly, even if he or she remembers the phrase, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," but don't remember what it means. So let's take a phrase and see how we can confuse it. So take the phrase, "My very elegant mother just served us Nutella." But the person thought that the first word, my very elegant mother just served us Nutella. So they thought my was for Mars instead of Mercury, while listing the planets in order. So, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Those are the planets. And I can tell you the order because I'm looking at the sentence right now. So, but say the person thought mine was for Mars instead of Mercury. And so now they're listing Mars before Venus. So Mars, Venus, Earth, Mercury. That's not right. And they have most of it right? So, think now that we've got this kind of confusion going on, what if the mnemonic, the character had, your character in your story, what if this mnemonic was to help him or her remember a code to open a door or a computer, right? So have fun with it. They can remember the wrong code, flip the numbers or what have you, and just, if you're writing a funny scene, just have fun. This character could set off the alarm instead of opening whatever he or she needed to open. Memory can be a very tricky thing, and we need help remembering things. At one bridal shower I went to, they told us to introduce ourselves with a favorite alcoholic beverage. But the beverage had to start with the same letter as our name. So my introduction was, "My name is Mykela, and I like mimosas." Even though I don't think I've ever had a mimosa. Okay, I don't drink a lot. Maybe Christmas and Thanksgiving or something like that. I don't drink. But at the party I said that. And people at the party remembered my name by using some version of Mimosa Mykela or Mykela Mimosa or so. So they remembered Mykela. They remembered my name. I had not met most of these people because the person during the party had picked people from all different places of her life. There were a couple that knew each other, but a lot of us didn't know the other people. So that helped them remember my name. So leave a comment on a mnemonic you use. And y'all know that I used to be a math teacher, so I definitely use the "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." Leave a comment on a character. Leave a comment on a character in a show, book, or movie that uses mnemonics. That brings us to our cave stories, or your cave stories. First, remember that all works shared on the channel are copyright protected, so there is no worry. Share your works by sending in your writings to Write with Mykela. It's up here, no spaces. writewithmykela@gmail.com. I look forward to reading your stories and writing prompts on the channel. We're on part 29 of your cave stories. We started working on this story in season 1, episode 25. And I listed the rest of the episodes in the description below. When we started, we wrote about a peaceful cave, the dripping and the sound and going splunking, and we set the mood. And that was one of the vocabulary terms for the day, was the mood. Or I guess we had already discussed mood. We were just given examples. You'd have to go back and look. Then we wrote about a scary cave to compare the mood of the two. Now, I enjoyed the scary cave. So weeks later, I picked it up for us to continue. Not that I didn't enjoy the peaceful cave, but I had a lot more to go with to create a story with the scary cave. So we picked it up to continue, and I listed the episodes, and I also listed plot in the description below. And the plot we pulled out later. And if you start writing today, that's perfectly fine. Send it in for us to read on the channel. To continue your writing on this, if you've been writing, ask a question. Write a scene to answer it. So a lot of times, like when I read a chapter of my story that we have going, like right now we have Princess of Norwin, Steigergard, I ask a question. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? What do you think about this? So I ask questions. So read your scene as if you don't know what's going on. Even though you do, you're the writer, you know. But ask a question like, if I didn't know what was going to go on, what would I think about this? What would I think about that? How would I do this? That kind of thing. Ask a question and write a scene to answer it. No, you don't have to answer every question that every reader has. But sometimes your story is going this way and the reader thinks you're going that way. But after the reader reads a little bit, they know you're going that way. So they adjust. Stop and define your characters to yourself so that you know their histories, what makes him or her tick. Are they tenacious? Are they shy? Are they joyful? Are they cup half empty? What kind of character do you have? And we've discussed many of those terms on this channel. Ask yourself, what's the struggle? So not only do you know your character, but what is your character fighting against or working against or working for, that kind of thing. What's the struggle? What's the outcome I'm headed towards, you're headed towards? What are you trying to accomplish in this story? Another question. Have I made things too easy on my protagonist? And this is one I have to really, really watch because I like, making it nice. But people like to read, people like to escape into books. They escape into movies. They escape into games, be they sports games or video games or whatever. They want the escape. And part of the escape is that their life is better than this person's life. Sometimes. At least that's what it is. So, have you made things too easy on your protagonist? But remember, the most important thing is to have fun with your writing. If you don't like your story, then edit it. Don't trash it. Edit it. Take out what you don't like and enhance the parts you do. See if you can create an intriguing protagonist with an active goal or problem and some high stakes and a ticking clock. You need those things to create a good story, along with interrelated events that build to a climax. Pause the video. Add to your story with a cave, your cave story, or your story that started with a cave, because I'm not in a cave anymore. And come back and I'll read what I added. Welcome back, writers. Now I will read what I wrote. Joe and Charles and the group that went with them linked back to camp. Many were dizzy, and they didn't get up for several minutes. Dr. Lyson stopped trying to see Misson's aura and went over. Dr. Lyson whispered under her breath, "And this is why we don't link into Maldrake's fortress, besides any rules." Joe looked at her. "You're right. Our new place is great. Charles leaned his head up. It would probably be better if we could link across the ocean to Europe or some other country. Surely Maldrake won't be there. I don't know about that, stated Dr. Lyson. Soros, the great-grandson, paid for such experiments over there long before he had Maldrake here. Other countries may be worse off. Joe eased up to a sitting position. Maybe Zalira's right, and we don't fight. Killing Maldrake will be hard enough, but I forgot about Soros funding things. Soros, the great-grandson, is a faceless man. Charles sat up and said, What do you mean? I mean, no one has ever seen him to know what he looks like, said Joe. Maybe Maldrake knows, but Maldrake won't voluntarily tell us, put in Dr. Lyson. If people in other countries have been fighting longer than us, started Charles, then... Joe shook his head. Soros, his son, and his grandson all paid for riots and school shootings back when we had schools. People freaked out and governments were able to ban guns in most countries. In the U.S., people have assaulted the Second Amendment hundreds of times. But, thankfully, there were always holdout states. That's the only reason we have anything now. Try fighting these beasts with your bare hands. No, thank you, said Charles. Another person in their group sat up. Too bad we can't link back in time. Joe looked at him. Now, Rogers, that is an excellent idea. Too bad we can't. Or at least, I don't think we can. Joe stood up and walked on to speak to Donnie, since Donnie hadn't gone with them. Maverick's group linked back, and in between each person was a crate of C4, with underwater gear on top of each crate. Oh, good, we brought the gear, said Maverick, and then he lay back flat on the ground. He was too dizzy to try to get up. Commander Nyson, I think I spelled that backwards. Commander Nyson went over to see what they had. He had actually gone snorkeling before, and he had used the underwater gear before, too. He wondered why any bunker would have such gear, but at least that was in their favor. After a few minutes, he looked over his shoulder at Zalira. She and Jose had befriended the dolphin, but did either know how to use the gear? Did either know how to set up C4? Did they have the material to keep the C4 from getting wet? All good questions. Commander Nyson sighed. They didn't need to rush. At least, it didn't seem that way at the moment. Several came running back to Commander Thurnall's group. It had taken time to chop off pieces of the rhinoceros to throw on the fire, but they hadn't wanted to burn the tree. Commander Thurnall looked down. It would probably take another 3 or 4 hours to burn completely, but it seemed like it was time to go. He glanced around, and several people were already sitting in a circle and had started meditating. They had decided on several trying to link them home. Those running up slid to a stop and sat between two people. Once no one else was running to them, Commander Thurnall sat down and interlaced his fingers with the two beside him. He could feel the vibrations in his body. Just before he linked away, he saw a hole on the other side of the circle. He tried to look around and count. Commander Thurnall's group popped into the camp, and Commander Thurnall jumped up. I think we're missing... He fell back to the ground. Dr. Lyson rushed over. She saw blood oozing on the ground. She called out for the supplies she needed. Commander Nyson... Yeah, I spelled it the other way this time. Sorry, group. I got dyslexic when I typed this one in. Commander Nyson came over and asked a member of the group who all was supposed to be with them. That person named everyone in the circle. Commander Nyson asked the next person if the person missed anyone, and that person shook their head no. Commander Nyson asked several more. No one knew. So, Just what is he missing if it's not a person? Commander Nyson asked Dr. Lyson as she applied pressure to the wound. Dr. Lyson shook her head. I don't have a clue, but it was pretty important. Commander Nyson called the whole camp together, and he told them that they needed to keep track of who left the camp by linking. Then he said, by whatever means they leave, we need to know where our people are. Zolera looked at the people lying around on the ground around Commander Thurnall. Where's Brambert? I think he went with Commander Thurnall. I noticed his aura. That's why I remember. What color was it? Asked Commander Nyson. It was a gray-green, replied Zolera. The book said green was for trust, I think. I might need to read that again. Color. Precise colors are important, stated Commander Nyson. Why did you look up green anyway? Asked Kilry. Zolera motioned. The children were green. First, they were yellow, and yellow was for fear, and it was obvious they were scared. But after they calmed down, they were green. Children can be very trusting and trustworthy, stated Commander Nyson. He sighed. I'm going to read, too, and you will reread, because I didn't see the color. We need to know before we go back to get Brambert. The question of why not go right away hung in the air. He wasn't so good at linking, stated Missant. Several looked at her, and they each had their own thoughts. Okay, writers, that's what I'm adding today. That was 990 words, almost 1,000. Leave a comment on trying to link overseas. If you were to leave the United States, what country would you go to? Or what country would you want to have an extended visit in? If you were going on a month-long vacation or a 2-month-long vacation, what country would you go to? Leave a comment on if you can remember the name of everybody in your group at work or in your hobby or wherever, etc., etc. You know, hey, you go to a class, an adult learning class, and do you remember everybody's name in that class? Do you remember everybody in your department at work? Or is there just one name that you just can't remember? You know, have you ever been in a meeting at work and they're like, the boss comes up to you later and it's like, was so-and-so in the meeting today? And you're like, I don't remember, maybe. And you don't remember if, you know, whosoever was in the meeting or not in the meeting. So, of course, it's not your responsibility a lot of times to remember, and sometimes they have sign-in sheets, but sometimes they ask. So, do you remember everybody in the group that was there? And sometimes it gets hard, like, okay, so I square dance, when we go square dance, and it's just like, okay, these people are in the group. Were they there this Tuesday or last Tuesday or the Tuesday before? You know, like, they were there a couple times at least, you know. I don't remember. So, leave those comments. Leave a comment on people getting very dizzy when they link. If you knew you would be dizzy, would linking be worth it? Leave a comment on why you think Commander Nyson doesn't want to go to link right back to get Brambert. It could be a couple reasons. Well, he needs to find out why they left so quickly without making sure they had everybody. You know, he needs to, you know, talk to them and see, why did y'all come back? Did you finish burning the body? That kind of thing. So he needs to do that. But is there another reason he doesn't want to go back to see about Brambert right away? And leave a comment on some natural laws that should be in place if an activity such as linking were possible. We've named some, you know, like you have to have good intentions. You could go to medically help somebody, but not necessarily pop them out. Well, this is their impression too, so we don't really know all the rules. We know what they think the rules are. but they had talked about linking outside somebody's hut, getting the medicine, and then linking back to help a parent or grandparent or whatever by administering the medicine. But people knew that you were coming and they expected you, so it wasn't like a surprise or whatever. It wasn't breaking into somebody's house to steal the medicine. So what rules of nature, like nature allows you to do linking, what rules would nature have to prevent you from doing that? Or maybe there aren't any rules and people just just set those rules up because that's what they felt was the best. But maybe there aren't rules. And that could be very scary, right? Writing is so much fun. We could go anywhere. We could do anything. We get to create worlds. I create worlds for mind adventures. And I enjoy these adventures. And I enjoy sharing these adventures with you. Don't forget to send in what you just wrote for me to read on the channel at writewithmykela@gmail.com. I would love to know what you found in your caves and where you went after that and how your story's unfolding. I would love to know all of that. Even if you don't give me permission to read on the channel, I would still enjoy reading. But reading on the channel would be great because there's people out there that think they can't do this. They would love to write, but they're like, oh, mine's not any good. But if they hear yours and they hear mine, they're going to say, oh, I don't have to write just like Mykela did. I could do this. This is how I see it. I want to write it this way. So if you send it in, you're going to give somebody else courage to actually write what they see and what they think and what's going on in their mind and help build our community. Join me Friday for Chapter 20 of Princess of Norwin and Steigergard. Join me Tuesday for some jargon and Part 22 of A Down Soldier. Visit my website, bymykela.com, and read some character bios and send in your unpolished writings in chapters to writewithmykela@gmail.com and leave comments on your favorite characters. And I'm still accepting chapters from any of the shared plots. Like I said, if you send it for plot 1, then I might be encouraged to go and do an edit run on that one. So it does need edits. This one needed edits too. Anyway, if you hit the like and subscribe and the bell notification, then we will continue to write together and other people will have a higher chance of finding this video and this channel since your likes will push the video out to a greater audience. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your participation. If you know someone who would like this video, please share it with them. This is Mykela with Write with Mykela. Bye for now.